next thing we're going to talk about is just doing some algebra. So basically, we're just going to show how to, or talk about how to solve these equations and also how to model them. So 6x plus 2 equals 4x plus 8. How we would go about solving this would be we first bring all the x's to one side, bring all the constants to the other side, and then kind of solve for x from there. So what we would do is we would subtract 4x on both sides. So we'd be left with 2x on the left plus 2 and 8 on the right. And then we would bring all the constants to the other side. So we have 2x is equal to 6. And then we can divide both sides by 2. And so we get x is equal to 3. And so that's how we would go about solving it. All right, so why do we do these steps? How can we visualize these steps? How do we model it? So here's a model for the equation 6x plus 2 equals 4x plus 8. So here we have like a scale. The scale is balanced right now because these two things are equal. So 1 is represented by these red little circles. And x, we don't know what x is, so we just kind of represent it with a box. So we don't know like what value this box has. We just know that the value of the box, however it shakes out, makes the scale equal. All right. So what we do, a copy and paste feature is pretty great for this. What we do is we first can take away the same number of boxes on both sides to keep the scale even. So we're trying to keep the scale completely even when we do this. So we take away 4 boxes on both sides. Right? So just get rid of the 4 boxes on both sides. And then what we do next is we can get rid of 2 of the circles on both sides. So now we have only boxes on the left and only circles on the right. And when we do this, now we can just kind of group things. So we have 2 boxes is equal to 6 circles. And so we can think of this as like, oh, we have two groups of boxes. And here we have 2 groups of 3 circles. And so if we were to just have both of those, then the scale is still going to be equal. And now we can visually see that 1 square has to be equal to 3 of the red circles. So this is our x, this is just 3, so x is equal to 3. You can see that visually. All right, let's talk next about solving inequalities. So here I have 4x plus 2 is less than 2x plus 6. So solving inequalities is almost exactly the same as how you would solve just regular equalities. You bring all the x's to one side, so I'll subtract 2x on both sides. I'm left with 2x plus 2 is less than 6. Then subtract 2 on both sides. I'm left with 2x is less than 4. And then I can divide by 2 so that x is less than 2. Okay, so we've solved basically to say like if 4x plus 2 is less than 2x plus 6, then we can say that x is just some number less than 2. So this tells us more clearly what x values we could plug into this inequality to get a true statement. Okay. All right. So where it gets a little bit weird is when you have to multiply by negative numbers. So here's another equation. So here, if I want to bring all the x's to the left, I could subtract 6x on the left, or 6x on both sides. So here I have negative 2x plus 2 is less than 8. Now I'll subtract 2 on both sides. I have negative 2x is less than 6. And so the common mistake that you might see when doing this problem would be you divide by negative 2 on both sides, and then you would get negative 3. Okay? So this is a mistake. The reason this is a mistake is because when we do this, so this is telling us that if x is any number less than 3, so for example, x equals -4 would work according to this. If we plug that in to this equation up here, or this inequality up here, we should get a true statement. So if I plug -4 in, I will get 4 times -4 plus 2. That is equal to -16 plus 2. That's equal to -14. And on the right, we get 6 times -4 plus 8, which is equal to -24 plus 8, which is -16. So is -16 bigger than -14? No, it is not. -14 is the larger of the numbers because on the number line, here's -16, here's -14. -14 is further to the right, so this is the bigger number. Okay, so obviously the problem here is when we divided by a negative or multiplied by a negative, could be kind of multiplied by a -1/2 on both sides. When you do that, that actually reverses the inequality, kind of like we talked about in one of the previous sections. So when it comes to solving inequalities, you really just do the exact same steps as you do when you are solving equalities. But whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. And as long as you do that, all of the other steps will end up being